Hey there, so that's Rajsekar here, and I'm with Kaustubh Bhagwat, who was able to take this entire model of the digital ecosystem, digital community building model. He was able to apply it to a non-profit cause, and he was able to achieve over 3.95 lakhs in total revenues in the last 90 days. So it has been an amazing journey of implementing this model for non-profit. So first of all, Kaustubh, congratulations on that achievement. Yes.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you so much. It couldn't
More
have
than
been
more than
possible
the
without
money
your
part. Let's not get the money is a secondary point over here. How many people have you impacted in the last 90 days leveraging
It's
systems?
more than 500 people now.
More than 500 people.
Yes, and we plan to reach at least 10,000 in the next 6 to 8 months.
Wow, amazing.
Yes.
So tell us about this whole idea. How did it sprout out? Like, it's a non-profit thing. I know you are running other businesses. You're already successful in other things that you're doing in your in your financial side of things. What inspired you to start off on this particular project, and what is this project all about? Yeah.
So that I've been reading and studying Bhagavad Gita for last 20 years. And the difference that it has made in my life is tremendous. I have experienced each and every word of the Gita is extremely relevant and can be followed by people in the present age as well. This will give us a lot of solace and they can really lead a life of fulfillment. So that was my realization. And I wanted to reach this out to the masses and make people understand how this happens. So when I was very low in my businesses, the principles of Gita helped me to focus on my business and to take it to the next level. So I have realized some principles in Gita are very relevant to the management aspects also. So I wanted to make it more relevant to the people in the society so that they can take advantage as far as their profession is concerned, as far as their family life is concerned, personal affairs are concerned, their spiritual life is concerned, and their social life is concerned.
Okay.
So then some of the like-minded friends of mine, we came together and we formulated such program that this can be done and people can really benefit out of it. So when I came in touch with you last May 2019, I got the entire freedom business model and I thought that this is the platform that we can use to impact the society in a different way. We wanted to keep it extremely low as far as the cost was concerned because we just wanted to cover the cost of the digital systems that get involved in it. And we wanted to attract people into the model. So what we did is we created a contest. So Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. So there are two levels of this program. One is level 1, which consists the first 9 chapters. Okay. What we do is we ask people to enroll. They enroll it. The fee is very minimal, 499. And then they get a login wherein they can go and see the video courses. So for the first 9 chapters, we have created average 4 or 5 videos for every chapter. So around 50 to 55 videos are there. Each video spanning about 12 to 18 minutes, average 15 minutes you can consider. Okay. So 15 minutes a day, they have to hear one video wherein they get insights of different verses of Bhagavad Gita. We go serially verse by verse. Then we ask them to read those specific portion of Bhagavad Gita with the explanations given in the Bhagavad Gita as it is, because that is the edition that has impacted my life. When that happens, they give 30 minutes of their mental diet from the Gita. Then whatever doubts they have, we ask them to come into a webinar. The link is floated on their mail. The link is floated on the Telegram channel every week. It happens on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, Hindi and English, both languages. So then they come into webinar, they ask questions, they get it resolved, they make it more relevant. And then we also have a next level module if they want personal coaching for any of their problems, may it be family, may it be personal, may it be relationship, may it be financial or spiritual.
Very nice.
Really excellent to the contest. Then we give them personal coaching and we charge a minimal amount because we give around 6 to 8 calls to them, half an hour each or 45 minutes each. So we charge them 1999 rupees for that purpose. Now what happens, the contest because of the COVID crisis has been delayed a bit and it will be held in November, post-November, December sometime.
That will be a live event?
Yes, that will be an online contest.
Okay.
And an open book contest as well. So once they give the contest, we will choose first 3 prizes. The first prize is cash, 3 lakh rupees. Second is 2 lakh rupees and third is 1 lakh rupees. So whatever we are collecting, we are again distributing it so that people get more inspired to study the whole model and understand the concept of Bhagavad Gita in their life. So this is how the GPL came forward. That
Came
is
about.
Gita
So
Premier League. About it.
amazing. Gita Premier League. Okay. GPL, like IPL. Okay.
Yes.
So the whole idea, what I can see, you've implemented the freedom business model into a level 1, level 2 program. That is now first 9 chapters, next 9 chapters. And level 3 is the one-to-one coaching.
Yes.
And anyone who's bought or gets to 499, they are able to answer questions. They're able to come live on weekends to get their doubts clarified to move forward. Brilliant. It's a very, very nice model over here.
Yes.
So before we get into the mechanics you've already shared, but I'm sure since you've studied the Gita, and I've also been brought up in convent background. I've read the Bible. I was in Dubai for a few years. I've read the Quran. Tell us about your perspectives on how I would say non-sectarian this knowledge is, and have you done a study on other different scripture as well?
Oh yes. I have not gone very deep into the Bible or the Quran, but also I was brought up into a convent school in Pune, so I had a touch of the biblical teachings.
Yes.
Quran also I have not read very deeply, but the overview I have always touched it. So the basic principles are always there, that that actually propagates the love of God. Now the concept of God may be different. They may address it differently by different names, but there is surely a divine energy that is controlling the entire world. I just released a video last week wherein it was said that people say that we want to see God and God is invisible. If we cannot see it, we cannot believe it. But if the invisible can harm you in the form of a small virus, why can't the invisible save you? You can believe in an invisible virus, then why can't in an invisible God? Actually, God is not invisible. You can see him, provided you have those you have that view sight with you, and then you can experience, you can realize. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives you practical steps basically to understand his entire creation, understand the working of his creation, understand his own position, understand your own position. So there are 3 things. One is you, one is the Supreme Lord, and third is the relationship between you and the Supreme Lord. So these 3 things get very clear once you go through the Gita. And then when that consciousness percolates into you, you can see the world in a different perspective altogether.
Right.
Actually, Gita never discourages you from doing activity. It only guides you how to do an activity in a particular way. Right? So doing all the nonsensical things in the world, we have landed ourselves in a big soup now. And there are so many calamities that are coming up. So this is going to, actually perpetrate the human race a lot. So we have to come to an understanding what exactly is the structure, the mechanism behind this entire world. And if we act accordingly, then we can lead a very successful and happy life. So these are the basics of Bhagavad Gita.
What principles were you able to derive from the Gita as far as management is concerned? I know there are a lot of people who are watching this who are leaders. They want to move forward. They want to incorporate. So is there anything that you want to share based on your research that you've done on this?
So in the 3rd chapter, the videos of the 3rd chapter, we have explained how Gita explains customer centricity, how your activity should be customer centered, where it is explained the importance of yagya. Now, when we utter the word yagya, people immediately make a picture in their mind of fire going on, a fire sacrifice going on. But yagya doesn't only mean fire sacrifice. It actually means working for somebody else, for a cause. And if that is put into mind, if you structure your whole business model around customer centricity, about what the customer needs, about what the world needs, and how we can solve problems of the world, then automatically you are going to get benefited out of the whole project that you're doing. So customer centricity is very important. Secondly, Gita advises you to focus, it advises you to focus, and it has to be avyavasayatmika. So it has to be vyavasayatmika, and it has to be avyavasayinam. So vyavasayatmika is being very professional and focusing on what you are doing, and accordingly carrying out your activities diligently, consistently. So there are a lot of things that are centered around these 2 topics, and there are a lot of verses that actually guides you how to remain focused on a point, be customer centric, work for the society, work for the benefit of the world, and eventually you get benefited. So sacrifices comes in different ways. It could be for your family, it could be for your society, it could be for the nature, it could be for the demigods, and eventually Krishna says it has to be for me. So when you transcend to that platform and you understand why it has to be for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, you can understand where your personal satisfaction and pleasure actually lies into.
Amazing. Yeah. Great way that you've structured that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now if you see the young generation, the millennials, they are in a totally different, mode. I would say, like, born into technology, having a lot of these different things. And is that the intent why you started this online challenge, where you want to get them? Is this only for youngsters or even for people who are much older as well, who can take up this Premier League?
So the age group is 0 to 150.
0 to 150. Okay.
So that means anybody and everybody can participate into it. See, because it hardly matters what stage of life we are or what age this body is into, because Gita, ultimately takes you to the spiritual platform. And as far as the spirit is concerned, there is no age of the spirit. There is no age of the soul. That has been already explained in the second chapter of the Gita. So it doesn't matter what stage of life you are, because you have to prepare for your present and for your future as well. And as far as the soul is concerned, the soul has an existence beyond this body. And in fact, everybody accepts it. It's accepted in the Quran, it's accepted in the Bible, and also accepted in the Gita. So the soul has an existence beyond this body. So it doesn't matter what age it is. Why we took it to the digital platform is, yes, the convenience, the scalability, the accessibility, and of course, people, I found that when we took it to the digital platform, it was much easier for us to reach out people and they're responding it. Because I don't know why, but they have a sort of, reservedness in their mind going into religious places and doing some, even though they want to do it because they understand it is important in their life. They don't want to come out and do it in front of people. They don't want to come out and do it in front of public. They feel it's sort of a show that they are doing, and they don't want to show it off in the public. They feel about what people would think about me. So there are a lot of reserved mindsets. So once we go discreet on the digital platform, they feel more comfortable, convenience of their house, convenience of time, and also convenience of thoughts, convenience of expression, everything that comes out. And that is why the digital platform we found is much beneficial.
Yeah. And, truly, I also believe that, that this particular in face of the world that we are in, this consciousness has to only increase. People need to understand about the frailties of life, on the position and purpose of their life. And what advice would you give? Because you have people from all faiths watching this video. And how would you encourage them? So if they're following Islam very, very strongly, what can they do? If somebody's following Christianity to the level where they're really following the principles of what was the Bible, or what, and even say Buddhists also watching this other faiths, what advice would you give them as far as helping them use these tools to raise the consciousness of their community?
Yeah. So the Gita has always been a non-sectoral book. Those who have really studied it have acknowledged it. Now we have a lot of Muslim friends, Muslim participants who have joined and are trying to study the principles of Gita. So it has always been an open book of knowledge where people from all faiths and sects can derive a lot of understanding about the entire cosmic structure that has been into place.
Okay.
Eventually, the whole essence of Gita lies into the last chapter, that is the 18th chapter, where Krishna says that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Leave everything and surrender unto me. So the surrenderance unto the Supreme Lord, whatever name you may call him, whatever form you may look into him, but surrenderance unto him and having an understanding of the whole cosmic creation, having an understanding of what is dharma, what is adharma, what is to be done, what is not to be done, and not being fanatic, of course, is common to all the platforms and all the followers of all religions. So there are so many universal principles that come out of the Gita. So once you understand these universal principles, you can always apply it in your own understanding as well.
Got it. Yeah, we have like Yeah, Allah means the highest. Jehovah also means the greatest. We have Yahweh, and we have all these different names, millions of names that are there. Yes, and due to different time, place, circumstance, they have come to represent and to uplift society. And so, like, if somebody has to start something like what you're doing, let's say they have a community, they want to really uplift their community with whatever scripture that they are following. What would be like the 5 steps that you want to give them, or maybe 3 to 5 steps? What would be the steps that they need to follow if they have to make this an effective and an efficient way for them to educate and uplift their audience with their cause?
Yeah. So the first and foremost is have a clear map into their mind what message they want to deliver. I mean, whatever scripture it may be, what is that core message of the scripture that they want to deliver? Secondly, make it more relevant to the modern age, because the more relevant it becomes, people accept it very easily. That is what we have seen. Whatever webinars we do, whatever other stuffs of communications we do, people tend to connect very easily if it's made more relevant. And then they themselves come up with more spiritual inquiries, because they find this is relevant in their material activities. Now they are coming up with their own spiritual inquiries, and then you can pitch them with the higher spiritual principles. And third thing is, you need to give them an engagement, because see, as there are 5 S's here, also there are 5 S's. So you have Swadhyay, Sadhana, Sadachar, Seva. So like this, there are 5 S's. So you need to put them, you need to make them engaged, like Swadhyay, the learning.
Can you explain all the 5? Yeah. Yes.
So Swadhyay is the learnings, the learnings that you give them. So the learnings could be through your course, the learnings could be through the reading of the scripture, a guided study of the scripture. Then the learnings could be through your personal interaction with them on the webinar. So that is Swadhyay. Then you have Sadachar. Sadachar means how can they implement it in their own life? That is more important. So the practice of the knowledge, implementation of the knowledge is more important, because knowledge without implementation is useless. It cannot benefit anybody. So once they start implementing, once they start following, then they will create a difference in the society for sure. So that is why a platform to help them implement in their own life is important. That is Sadachar. Then they should be given some spiritual practice. In the in the age of Kali, the only thing that can deliver is the holy name of the God. It may be names of God, it may be names of Allah, it may be names of any God that you actually believe into. As far as the Sanatan Hindu Dharma is concerned, it's the name of Hari, because Hari Naam is what is actually prescribed. The names of Lord.
Even in Lord's Prayer, they say, "No, hallowed be thy name." Is there? Yes.
Yeah. So the chanting of the name is the sadhana, is the vehicle actually which can connect you to the Supreme Spirit. So that sadhana should be explained. Then they should be given a chance to do some seva, some service, service to the society in some of the other form. Like in this coronavirus crisis, we urged a lot of them to do some service to the society. And I'm glad many of them have done a lot of great service, feeding the poor, contributing to the fact that many people are going foodless and are starving without food. So they are helping a lot in this case. So there has to be some seva, now since we cannot come together now, but you should create some platform. They will have meetups and come together and create an attitude of service, some servitude into them. Because when you start serving somebody, the purification of your heart becomes accelerated, You can really experience that purity in your heart. So that platform also has to be there. So this is how, if you create a platform where you can really connect, it's not about you talking and they hearing. It has to be much transactional, engagement wise. So this is how you can create a good community out of it.
What is the 5th point you said?
So what did we cover?
We covered the first one is
Seva, Swadhyay. Swadhyay was first. Sadachar.
Swadhyay is, you said, is the communication form.
Study, yeah.
There's the study. And then the second one is the personal implementation.
Yes.
Third one is sadhana. That means they have to practice something on a daily basis.
Yes.
Number 4 is seva. And number 5?
Number 5, It just skipped. Okay, I'll come back to it.
No problem. Okay.
I will come
Anyway,
back to it.
but in principle, we understand. So you're saying that if people
Siddhant.
integrate,
It's
Siddhant.
Siddhant. Siddhant
So
is
what is that? Yeah.
philosophy. So Siddhant is philosophy.
Philosophy.
So you must give them a proper philosophy of the scripture and make them understand the philosophy. That is very important, because only Swadhyaya, if they keep on studying and they don't understand that, they will leave the process. So make them understand the Siddhant. So
Siddhant also means like probably the essence of the knowledge, right?
Yes, yes,
okay.
yes.
Got it. So you're saying if people can incorporate all these 5 elements into the online model in an engaging way, they'll be able to more effectively use this to to uplift people in whatever knowledge and that they're doing. Okay, fantastic, great. How many of you found, if you found this useful, just type in the comment box, what are those 5 elements? Okay, I want to see how many of you have captured this, because it's very, very, very interesting, because these are the 5 elements. Unconsciously, I've been doing this in my own community, but now there's a formula behind it which I never knew before this. Yeah, great. So what is your vision, Kaustubh, now? Where do you want to take this in the next year, the next 3 years? And tell us, what kind of an impact can this have in society?
I want to enroll at least 100,000 people into this program over the next year and a half or 2.
Okay.
And if these many people undergo the teachings of the Gita, understand the teachings of the Gita, and go through these processes of the 5S, then I'm sure that is going to create a great impact, because this is going to be an exponential effect as it moves ahead. See, because any revolution, if you have to start, it has to start from your own personal self. So everybody, if starts this revolution, rekindle the spiritual knowledge in his own heart, then they are going to spread the light all over the globe, and this is going to create a great impact. In fact, we have a vision that we should take this in at least 15 languages around the world. So once one step we are moving ahead. We have it in 3 languages at the moment: English, Hindi, and Marathi. Then will come Gujarati, then the 4 languages of the South: Kannada, Malayalam, Tamil, Telugu.
Yeah.
We have Bengali, Odia, and Hindi is already there. We want to take it into Spanish, German, Russian, French. These 4 languages will be the next part. So as far as this is concerned, in the next 2 years, we have that vision established with us. And hopefully we would be able to impact 100,000 people around the globe.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. That's a great vision to have. And I just wanted to share at this point is, I've also been studying like various, I like to compare different things without being, judgmental. And there's a beautiful book by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He written a book called Becoming Supernatural and Being Supernatural or something. Yeah, Becoming Supernatural, where he actually analyzed and studied, people there. He's a scientist, like he's a doctor. So he put, all these measuring devices and made people meditate. He would analyze their brain patterns, all that stuff. And then in that book, he talks about something called Project Coherence. So he says that they had measured actually in different parts of the world, where when people would come together and they would pray together, when they would maybe chant together, when they would do something together, in those areas, there was lesser crime, there was lesser, tribulations and all this stuff that was happening. And it was actually making that entire environment even more peaceful and happy and joyful for that community. And this was scientifically measured. You guys can go and just check out that book. It is a pretty in-depth, it'll be a little bit heavy, the whole reading, but it is beautiful to see how the Western scientific methodologies were able to, I was able to see the congruence with the Eastern thoughts, because here it is a lifestyle. I mean, the Eastern philosophies, it's a part of life. Like for us, we just take it, okay, yeah, we do all of these things on a daily basis. But then once the validation comes from the logical side, from the scientific side, it takes things to a whole new level. So yeah, I think what you're doing here, I can see, is when people are aligned, they're thinking the same thought, and it is going to create a huge impact in society. And not just the Gita is one of the projects. And if you're watching this and if you want to do it with your own, whatever the faith and the scripture that you believe in, and if you want to uplift that society, I mean, together the coherence can be actually built in this world, and that's going to make the world a much more happier, better place. And I would say people, ultimately it comes down to love, right? What's your thought about this, Kaustubh? Yes.
Yes, it comes down to love, and it has to be. Now, what the problem is, we just fight amongst ourselves, claiming that this is the only way to love. And that is where the entire problem lies. Instead, if we just regard love as the primary element, And if we respect it, if we take it along, I think the world is going to be an extremely wonderful place to live in.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Kaustubh, for your time. And I really wish you're able to, grow much faster in this. You're able to implement the digital model for reaching out to more and more people, helping them move up. And so based on, before we leave, I just want to say, in the description of my YouTube channel, you can go and check it out. Go and check out the GPL link over there. If you want to get into the contest, do that. And if you want to get into the understand the freedom business model and how you can use this model for activating whatever nonprofit or whatever cause that you have, I've given my formula link over there. Go and watch it, jump into the bandwagon, and I would definitely love to help you on that as well. I'm also personally, strategizing with a few other religious institutions in their own ways. I know multiple religious bodies who want to reach out more to their audience, and they're using the same model. The same model can be used for any kind of nonprofit activity. So, Kaustubh, before we leave, based on your 25 plus years of experience in studying this the scripture and all of that stuff, if you had to bring it down to one thing, what is the one thing, if people keep in mind, they can perfect their life? What comes to your mind?
See, one should always remember that we have come here to live one day. And art of living is good, but at the same time, you should also learn the art of leaving, how to leave things behind you, and how do you want people to call you after you leave. That is very important. We are not here to stay permanently. A day will come when we have to leave this world, but before leaving this world, we have to impact this world so that people can really remember us as we have done something useful for the entire global community.
Amazing. Great set of thoughts. Thank you so much for your time, and wish you all the best. And those of you who are watching this on YouTube or Facebook, please share your comments below if this was inspiring. What did you learn? We would be reading all these comments. Once again, Kaustubh, thank you so much for your time, and truly wish you all the best for your
Thank you so
initiatives.
much. Thank you so much. Yes.